I was once accepted into an 18-month leadership training program as one of the 20 participants from a global organization. During that time, I learned valuable lessons, insights, techniques, and strategies that helped me become a better leader and led my small but global team more effectively. Yet it wasn't until years after completing the program and further learning that I realized the true essence of leadership can be summed up in one word: love. Leadership, in its purest form, is not about hierarchy, authority, or control. Personally, I never liked the word boss. Leadership is about presence, alignment, and service. It's about leading not from ego, but from our true essence, from our heart. In a world that often rewards speed, strategy, and results, heart centered leadership is a quiet revolution. It invites us to lead from wholeness, from the deep knowing that when we lead with love, authenticity, and integrity, we naturally uplift everyone we touch. There was a time when I believed leadership meant doing more, being the one who carried everything, the one who had answers, direction, and confidence at all times. I guess I took servant leadership the wrong way. I thought that to lead meant to always stay strong, to be unshakable, to push through even when I was running on empty. But over time, I realized that leading from that place only created exhaustion, both in myself and in others. It built success that looked solid on the outside, but felt hollow within. True leadership begins not with control, but with connection to yourself, to others, and to something greater. When you are connected to your heart, you lead not because you need validation, but because you care. You listen not to respond, but to understand. You create space for others to shine rather than standing in their light. Heart centered leadership is rooted in wholeness, not perfection. It's about embracing your humanity, your strength, and your vulnerabilities, and allowing that authenticity to become your greatest strength. When people sense that you are real, that you lead not from fear or performance, but from sincerity, they trust you, they open up, they feel safe around you. And that safety is what allows transformation to happen within teams, within relationships, within communities, or even within countries. You've probably felt the difference between a leader who rules from the mind and one who leads from the heart. The former inspires compliance, the latter inspires commitment. The difference isn't in words, it's in energy. A heart led leader's presence feels calm, grounded, and genuine. They don't lead through pressure, but through example. They don't demand trust, they earn it through consistency, compassion, and integrity. To serve from wholeness means leading from a place where you no longer need to prove your worth. You know who you are, you know your values. You recognize that leadership isn't about being above others, it's about being in relationship with them. It's about guiding, supporting, and empowering others to find their own strength and wisdom. When your leadership flows from your heart, your energy changes the room before you even speak. You bring harmony where there was confusion, understanding where there was division, and calm where there was chaos. You hold space for truth without judgment. You embody the kind of love that uplifts without rescuing, that empowers without overpowering. Heart centered leadership isn't about doing more, it's about being more present. It's about remembering that leadership is an act of love in motion. But leading from the heart requires courage. It means being willing to be misunderstood. It means holding integrity when shortcuts tempt you. It means staying anchored in compassion even when others project their pain. Because when you lead with love, not everyone will understand. But your authenticity will always ripple farther than approval ever could. Wholeness, at its core, means integration. It's a place where your Inner and outer world align, where what you say, what you do, and who you are all flow in harmony. The heart thrives in alignment. It cannot thrive in fragmentation. When you're split between who you think you should be and who you really are, your energy leaks. But when you lead from wholeness, your presence alone becomes magnetic. People can sense when you are in integrity with yourself. It's felt more than seen. In a busy, competitive world, this kind of leadership can feel radical, but it's exactly what's needed. We don't need more leaders who know how to manage tasks. We need more leaders who know how to hold space, who can see the humanity in others, especially when they're struggling, who can build bridges instead of walls, who can pause long enough to remember why they started leading in the first place. Leading from the heart doesn't mean you never make hard decisions. It means you make them consciously, with compassion and fairness. It means you stay grounded in your values, even when outcomes are uncertain. It means you choose empathy over ego, understanding over reaction, presence over performance. When you lead from wholeness, service becomes effortlessly. You no longer operate from scarcity where you give until you're empty. You lead from fullness where your giving replenishes both you and others. That's the paradox of love. The more you share it, the more it grows. There's a simple truth I return to often. Leadership is not what you do, it's what you emanate. Your energy is your message. People may forget your words, but they will remember how they felt in your presence. Did they feel inspired, safe, empowered, seen? That is the legacy of heart centered leadership. Not numbers, not awards, not privilege, but hearts awakened because you had the courage to lead with yours. Heart centered leaders also understand the importance of self nourishment. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't serve others if you're disconnected from yourself. Tending to your own well being isn't selfish, it's sacred responsibility. Your presence is your instrument, and it requires care. Meditation, rest, reflection, time in nature, these aren't indulgences, they're maintenance for your alignment. Because when your energy is clear, your leadership becomes naturally compassionate and wise. And that's the shift we're seeing in the world right now. The old model of leadership, based on control, competition, and dominance, is collapsing. The new paradigm is rising, rooted in collaboration, compassion, and consciousness. It's not about leading through fear, but inspiring through love. Not about forcing outcomes, but creating resonance. Not about power over, but power with. So, how do we embody this in daily life? It starts with awareness. Notice how you show up in conversations. Do you listen to understand or to respond? Notice your motivations. Are you leading to be seen or to serve? Notice how you handle conflict. Do you seek to win or to find truth? These small choices reveal where your leadership flows from, fear or love. And when you catch yourself reacting from ego, don't judge it. Just return to your heart. Take one breath, ask yourself, what would love do here? Sometimes love will speak firmly. Sometimes it will stay silent. Sometimes it will walk away. But it will always guide you towards alignment. The heart is not naive. It's wise beyond measure. It knows the real strength doesn't come from dominance, but from presence. That true power is not control, but coherence. The ability to stay centered and connected, even when everything around you is shifting. As you continue to walk your path, remember this: leadership is not something you perform, it's something you become when you live in alignment with love. Every word you speak, every act of service, every moment of compassion is leadership in motion. You are shaping culture with your energy, whether you realize it or not. So, lead as you are, whole, imperfect, real. Let your heart be the compass that guides your choices. Let your wholeness be the soil from which your leadership grows. Let your presence remind others that leadership can be both strong and gentle, powerful and kind, firm and open. The world doesn't need more leaders who are perfect. It needs more leaders who are present. Leaders who serve from fullness, not emptiness. Leaders who embody love, not as a concept, but as a way of being. When you lead from wholeness, your very existence becomes an offering. You no longer chase influence, you become it. You no longer strive to make an impact, you naturally leave one because a heart led life, lived with integrity and love, is the greatest form of leadership there is. And in that way, your leadership is not just about what you achieve, it's about who you help others remember they can become. And I will leave you with this. Remember, we are all leaders.